Hello, friends. My name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I'm somebody who's made a lot of things, whether it's videos, songs, poems, essays, books, whatever. I've made a lot of things. I've attempted to make a lot of art, and I've made a lot of bad art in the process. I've also made some good art, and I want to explain in this video in 7 steps how to make bad art, which hopefully will be informative on how to avoid making bad art. Number 1, if you want to make bad art, express yourself. If you think that making art is about expressing yourself, you're highlighting the experiential aspect of it and not the work aspect of it. You're creating a permanent object, so you should understand art as work. Affectations. If your art making is producing things that, well, let's say Public Enemy used to always have this certain kind of siren-y sound in the background, and the justification that they gave for that is they always wanted to know when it was them playing, even if they could just hear it bumping in the distance. Now, as far as affectations go, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty successful one. But in general, things like that are sort of your unique monikers make art bad because they link it too much to the artist. And good art is always sort of independent of the person who's made it. It exists as an entity in and of itself as an object after you're done. Number 3, fail to call. So generally, what's more of a problem is excess rather than too much concision. People who begin with that frame of reference where they're extremely concise are much more likely to make fewer things and have those things they make be successful. But for a lot of artists or artists like me who have extroverted intuition, fail to call is a problem. So you've written a bunch of chapters or something. They're all your babies. You kind of love them all, but you need to kill a lot of them because editing is key. Number 4, put thinking ahead of intuition. Art needs to be intuitively resonant, first and foremost, more than it needs to be logical or something. It needs to be something that resonates universally with people, each in their independent ways. So it requires you to be very intuitive about the universality of things. I'm going to scale this bit down. Mistake skills for art. If you're learning the guitar and you're learning a bunch of scales and stuff, you're not on a good track. Art making is, again, about intuition. So it is important to have a certain amount of chops in order to be able to execute the intuitive ideas you have, but you should be leading your training of the self on whatever it is you're doing by your intuition and what it needs to be able to accomplish rather than the other way around. And if you are the other way around, then you end up being like some sort of free jazz thing where you're all incredibly accomplished musicians and nobody can listen to what you're playing. 6, good way to do bad art is to embrace aesthetic relativism. To tell yourself, it's all just beauties in the eye of the beholder anyway. There's no art's really better than any other art, blah, 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 blah. That's complete nonsense, of course. No artist operates under that frame of reference. Every artist, when they're making art, says, is this a good or a bad aesthetic choice? And, of course, the same thing true for everybody consuming art. It's just that the objective truth of whether something's good or bad is not something you can argue about or decide the matter argumentationally because it's irreducible. It's about holistic truths. The best test would be how permanent is it, how timeless. So we still listen to Mozart, and most composers from that period we don't, for a reason. It's better. 7, fail to crystallize. So if I didn't end this video right now, coming up on 5 minutes, it would be too long. It would not have adequate concision and would be not coming back to full circle to bring the point together, which is this is a piece of art, and how I make it is very important. It could be terrible or great or something in between. If I want it to be terrible, I'll do these things.